Alright, live. You guys have to let me know if you guys can hear or not. But right here, welcome. To the transparency on the road. More like traffic. Idaho4, Judge Hippler, AP has spoken. Let's not get it twisted though. Bill Thompson, hey, we want to keep the gag order in place. Ann Taylor, yeah, we have no objection to that. So Judge Hippler was ready to grant that the gag order being lifted immediately after that hearing. But let's not forget Bill Thompson. Oh, wait, hold on. We need that gag order to stay in place. Why? For what purpose? I guess maybe Bill Thompson was nervous that Brian would recant his I killed everybody. But Ann Taylor over here has no objection to it. So it should be lifted. It's just to, hey, we have a gag order so that Brian Cobra can have a fair trial. He's not going to trial. There's no reason to have the gag order. So I don't think there's going to be a hearing over this. I think either he's going to grant it or he's going to deny it. I think it'll be that simple. But I think it's telling that Ann Taylor and Bill Thompson both want the gag order to stay in place. And that's simply to not be bothered by the media, not have to deal with the podium that's going to be outside. I think it's bullshit. So what's good? Heard everybody's losing their minds. Not sure why. Put your guys' comments on the TV, those of you guys who are watching it at home. I can't see any of the comments though. It's way too small. If I try to look at it, then I touch all these other buttons and it goes crazy, so it's probably not going to happen. But good morning or good afternoon, wherever it is that you are. We're coming into it. Okay. Woo! Okay. Again, good morning, good afternoon, wherever it is that you're at. If you're on the West Coast, I want to go to Bundy. Who wants to go to Bundy? I want to go to Bundy. I want to go to Rockingham. I'm not going to lie, I have no idea how JLR does not get car sick while touring with Magnolia, driving all over. Where are we going? We're going nowhere. Who ended up getting Rockingham Estates? Did his kids end up getting it? Did he have to sell it? Was he able to put that into the Florida stuff? I don't even know that. Anyways, back to Judge Hippler. I don't think he has, it's 2 more weeks. It's 2 more weeks for this non-dissemination order. How about will Steve give a victim impact speech? I hope he does. I hope he tells all those people what's up. I hope that whatever decision, he just needs to do what is going to be best for him. As far as Steve giving a victim impact speech, I just don't want him to look back and regret not giving one, or if he gives one. What? So, as far as Steve goes, after the gag order is lifted, once it either lifts before or after July 23rd, there's been a lot of talk about what's going to be released and what won't be released, or what people can get their hands on through public requests and stuff like that. I think it's going to be interesting how this all shakes out. As far as Bethany and Dylan, what if Bethany and Dylan had questions? What if they wanted to get information, them being victims of the crimes? What about the parents? What about the parents have stuff? I was told that Bill Thompson told the parents to put in FOIA requests, put in public requests. That's what Bill Thompson's advice has been, is to, hey, yep, put in a public request. It's pretty interesting. Public request. Awesome. So, live. Sorry, can't see those messages. Whatever you guys are writing in. What else? So the AP goes ham, wants Hippler to lift the gag. How quickly is Bill Thompson going to retire? When's he going to put in his papers? Who's going to take over for Bill Thompson? Is Ashley Jennings going to take over in Latah? Is Latah going to completely move away from anybody that had anything to do with the University of Idaho murders? No idea. No clue. What are they going to do with the spot where the house was? When are they going to make some moves on that? I just saw some pictures of it last week. I had somebody run over there, take some pictures. They've done nothing. Who's going to be the first person to write a book? Is Beth going to write a book? Phil going to write a book? Is Brian going to write a book? Who's going to write a book? Who's going to write a book from the defense's opposition of just their experience with this? What experts could possibly talk once the gag's lifted? What about NDAs? Are those different than gags? What are the rules here? There's prosecution experts. There's defense experts. Howard Bloom seems to think that Brian Colbert and his dad had some wild talk on their way home. And in that long drive. Also, there's speculation that Brian's sister, decided to call the feds. There's also information that Brian Culver's dad booked his flight a day before. Then he actually flew out on December 11th, and then they started to drive back on December 12th. What could be so important for Bill Thompson and Ann Taylor that they do not want the gag lifted for since the time of last week to this week and the next week and the week after that? And the only thing that makes sense to me is that it's for their personal use. They don't want the podium. They don't want the podium in the, when they got to walk out from the last one last week. Then in 3 weeks, they walk out from sentencing. They don't want the media all up in their shit. Well, someone's going to have to answer some of these questions. Okay? Right? And then the question comes is, well, just because people can speak, how do we know someone's being honest when they do speak? So be prepared for that. Be prepared for, it's not gonna be black and white. It's definitely not gonna be black and white. Woohoo! I don't even know what this is doing. Okay. Again, good morning, good afternoon, wherever it is that you are located. Judge Hippler asked to lift the gag order. That gag order would have been lifted if it wasn't for Bill Thompson and Ann Taylor. Bill Thompson saying we need to keep it in place, and Ann Taylor having no objection to it. So and the only reason they would do that is because they don't want to be bothered with the media. Well, the media's not going anywhere. So, I mean, anybody thinks that this is going to, the gag order is going to stay in place after sentencing? Remember when Hippler said, well, I guess it will address, because Bill Thompson's going to try to keep a gag order on? What are you talking about? See, I mean, both sides here. What's the problem? You know how much money Ann Taylor made off of defending this case? Based off of 50 hours per week, $250 an hour. Times that by 2.5 years. I did my math, and it's $1.2 million. And then people are under the impression that Ann Taylor pays her experts out of that. That is not accurate at all. Not one bit. No. Those are all contracts that they get approved. There's actually a judicial for the financial part of the portion of the case that approves all that. And so you're submitting those invoices, and they're getting the funds through the county. So it doesn't come from Ann's money. And I'm going to poke fun here at Twizzler over there that said that. He's like, wait, that goes all to Ann? What do you mean she has to pay? I was like, she doesn't pay all that. So it's to do something for 2.5 years, and yep, let's do a plea deal now after people. It's absolutely ridiculous. But money rules our courts, and that's the truth. I'm curious to know if Jay's going to be there. If Jay's going to go on down to Boise. He was one of my favorites on the case from the defense standpoint. I always enjoyed his motions, reading them. I mean, I don't think the judges really enjoyed them, but so Lifting a gag. To lift or not to lift? I know Hippler likes to write a lot, so I don't think there's going to be a hearing, and I think Hippler's going to, whether he denies it or grants it, Hippler's going to write up case law about it. Curious to know what other cases are out there. So do your research over the next couple hours. If you're just walking around, laying out in the sun, doing whatever it is that you are doing, Google cases that gag orders, what case laws out there. I'm curious, very curious. But I mean, let's just put this in perspective for everybody. The Chris Watts case, people are still talking about that today, okay? And that case is nothing compared to this case. So anybody thinks that this case is going anywhere, it's not. So until next time, I just wanted to come out and say, we can't always blame the old hag for this gag. But Bill Thompson and Ann Taylor, they truly like to be gagged when they pretend that they don't want to be gagged. Enjoy the rest of your, what is today? Tasty Thursday? Go get yourself some. Over!